This will be a short one. So, let's talk about your three displays here. We will talk about the one on the right first. This is your RWR, or your Radar Warning Receiver. Now, it is going to be imperative that you understand how a radar warning receiver works and how the radar works as a whole. So, that being said, let's start with the basics. Let's grab an image here. Here, actually, let's grab a better one. There we go. Okay, so how does your radar work? Well, essentially, what a radar does is it's kind of like echolocation. Think about how a bat gets around a cave. It sends out signals, and it waits for a signal to bounce back. If a signal does happen to bounce back, it will know that there is something there. That is essentially how a radar works. So, for example, if this is your F-15 here, it would send out these radar waves. And eventually, one of them would hit this aircraft. The signals would then bounce back from this aircraft to your radar, and your radar would receive it. And this data of this aircraft in this position would be displayed on your radar, which is your center bottom MFD. However, we are talking about your radar warning receiver. So in this example, you would be this aircraft. If someone was looking at you actively with their radar, your radar warning receiver has the job of letting you know, hey, someone is looking at you currently. You might be in imminent danger. Now, the way it does that is it displays the direction in which this radar receiver and this radar warning is detecting the radar signals. So, in this particular example, the aircraft that is currently looking at us is on our right side. Now, to give you a reference here, let's go back to our cockpit view. Here we go. Actually, I'll add this as a little image up here. If we go back to our cockpit view, the way this would be displayed on our RWR is like this. You would get a symbology, something of this kind. I'm no artist, but it would look something like this. And it would say 15 for F-15. And it would be displayed particularly on your right side. Now, if I was going to be really accurate with this, I would draw exactly 90 degrees from us currently. So this center cross represents your position. This represents you from a top-down view. Unfortunately, it does not display the altitude at which the radar signal is being received from. However, it does display direction. So if you got a radar warning receiver on your direct right of this cross, it means that someone is looking at you from your direct right. If you got it from directly in front of you, it would mean that someone was looking directly at you from in front. If you got it from behind. If you got it on the left side from behind, then it would be over here, and so on and so forth. Essentially what it does is it picks up radar signals, and it then relays that information in a comprehensible and digestible way to you so that you can make an accurate tactical decision based off of the information that you are presented. Example, if you saw that someone was locking you up from the right, it would probably be in your best interest to turn towards them and do the same. Or, alternatively, if you don't have the fuel or munitions to fight, it would probably be in your your best interest to get low and attempt to egress from the current situation. Now let's talk about your radar. Your radar is the exact opposite of the RWR. Your radar is what sends out the signals and displays it on this screen here. So, how does it do this? Well, to show you this, I'll open the image much wider. There you go. So, how does it do this? Well, the way it does this is fairly simple. You see, this is a top-down view of the battlefield in front of you. Now remember that your radar only extends a certain degree, so you can't see behind you with your radar, you can't see directly to the right of you with your radar, and you can't see directly to the left of you with your radar. You can, however, see directly in front of you, and in, say, 70 to 75 degrees in front. So, your radar is constantly sweeping back and forth. It's constantly sending out these radar signals, waiting to get a response back. And if it does, and let's say we got a target directly in front of us, far, it would be shown here, on the center line. If he was directly in front of us close, it would be shown here. And if it was directly in front of us really close, it would be shown here. Essentially, the farther up or down it is, depends on, displays the range. So the closer it is to the bottom, which is here, this is essentially where you are, the closer it is to you. Now, if we got one on the right here, this would tell us that the target is close to our right. If we got one on the left here, it would say the target is about a medium distance away from us to our far left. If we got one here, it would say that our target is somewhat far from us and close to the center line, but on our right. That's essentially how the radar works. There's not much else to it. Now, that basically concludes our short overview. We already know that this displays our ammunition left for our 20mm gun. And that's going to be really the end of our small, short, little informational discussion on our radar and our RWR. Remember that our RWR receives signals and that our radar sends them out. I hope that knowing this and with this knowledge, you can make sound tactical decisions out there on the battlefield. I wish you all the best of luck.